start tonight?
It's 5 pieces. This was one of them. Feel that.
Okay. Not gonna throw me, man.
Okay, I'm going to call the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting to order for Tuesday, September the 11th, 2018. I'd like to start out with invocation with Alderman Barnhill, and then I'll lead in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. So if you'll join me in standing.
Would you bow, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight. Thank you for this opportunity of meeting here. We understand and recognize many nations, many countries, and many people that do not have the freedoms that we enjoy and so cherish. We give you thanks for these. We ask your blessings upon those who are defending these freedoms in foreign countries, the soldiers that are serving overseas, their families, and all of the other people who serve in a capacity that protect our freedoms. We ask your blessings upon these people, upon their families. We also ask your blessings upon each of us as aldermen. The decisions we make, give us spiritual wisdom and guidance. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is an opportunity for citizens to make comments for items that are not on the agenda. I have no speaker cards, and I haven't had anybody rush up to push me out of the way, so we'll move on to the next item, which is communications from Williamson County Commission, and I'm not aware of any tonight. And so we'll move on to the minutes from the August 28th, 2018 work session and the August 28th, 2018 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
So we're just gonna do it the way we've always done it?
Yes.
We're not gonna get we're not gonna complicate ourselves?
Not too much.
Okay, good. For those of you watching at home, we had a training class on Robert's Rules. And that sounded like a real pain, so I'm just gonna do it this way. This is better.
Hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Next, we're going to go to item 2 on recognitions, which is recognition of Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance. I'd like to ask Andy King and Chief Faulkner to come up and join me. This morning, several of you were able to attend the ceremony at the police station commemorating the events of 9/11 and the ringing of the bell. That's not quite the right term. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the correct term. Got you. So please have a few comments, both of you. Chief Faulkner.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the recognition on this day. We all have our own individual and personal story, but the fire service especially came close together that day and still is. But the things that I remember most of that is that our great country and community served us and stopped, and the people that dropped by our fire stations that day just to give us hugs. And all those things we remember to this day and are very appreciative of. And it's definitely nice to remember this day in a positive way as well. Thank you.
Chief Faulkner.
Thank you, Mayor Moore and Board of Aldermen. Certainly this is a day that I'll never forget. It changed not only the way we live our lives, but it changed my profession forever. We don't police the same way that we did prior to September 11, 2001, and we never will police that way again. I am feeling very blessed tonight because of the wonderful ceremony that we had here in the city of Franklin today. This is truly a city that we'll never forget. It is patriotic and God-fearing and cares very much about the rule of law and the people who serve the citizens of Franklin. As the fire marshal said, while other cities maybe are faltering with that memory, this is certainly not one. We know every day how blessed we are to be police officers here in the city of Franklin. People bring food, They stop and tell us how much they appreciate what we do. We don't take that for granted. We want to continue to earn that trust and respect. That's important when we can't do our job or meet our mission without it. So please always know that. There are teenagers today that weren't even born when this happened, 17 years ago. So it's our job, all of us, to keep that memory alive, to inform them about what happened and how each and every one of us felt that day. And we know that all of us will, in fact, never forget. Thank you.
And if y'all stay up here with me, I'd like for everybody to please join me in standing, and we're going to have a moment of silence to remember the events, to remember those that lost their lives, remember those that were in the buildings, men and children, women, and also our first responders. And as we have this moment of silence, also be aware that we will have teams leaving the city of Franklin to go to the coast where the hurricane is going to occur to offer their services. So I'd ask you that you keep them in their prayers as they don't ask any questions about why they're going. They're just going to serve and do what they do in their profession. So if you'll join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
So next, we're going to have a proclamation, and we have some guests here tonight. I'll let y'all introduce yourself. Not that they haven't seen you multiple times in the past.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Anna Schaefer. I'm the regent of the Old Glory chapter of DAR, and some of our other members are here as well. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello. You might think I would be here for the library. Well, in a way I am, but I'm also here as a representative of Old Glory chapter of the DAR.
Well, I will let them introduce you. Fort Mayor Alden may have forgotten.
Ann Peterson, a member of Old Glory chapter of DAR.
Margaret Martin, Old Glory chapter, DAR.
Anybody else?
I think that's all.
Okay, well, great. Well, let's
Can we go up here while you, oh, do you want to read it?
I want to do the microphone, and then we're going to go up there for the photo shot, okay? So, whereas our founding fathers, in order to secure the blessings of liberty for themselves and their posterity, ordained and established a Constitution for the United States of America. Whereas it is of the greatest importance that all citizens understand the provisions and principles contained in the Constitution in order to effectively support, preserve, and defend it against all enemies, and whereas the independence guaranteed to American citizens, whether by birth or naturalization, should be celebrated by appropriate ceremonies and activities, now, therefore, I, Dr. Ken Moore, Mayor of the City of Franklin, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through September the 23rd, 2018, as Constitution Week, and urge our citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. So, let's get a picture, man. Absolutely.
Lord willing, we'll be back here again.
One more thing, as chair of the committee, I would like to invite everyone to the library on the 16th from 1 to 3 o'clock to have an old-fashioned ice cream social. We're going to have a lot of activities going on. We're going to have Martha Washington walking around and meeting folks and talking to the kiddos. So bring your kids, bring your grandkids. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And now's the time for other miscellaneous reports, and so as I walk back, if people have miscellaneous reports, let's hear from them.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, one thing to just add to your list of upcoming Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings, we do have next Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We are going to have a special work session related to our capital investment program, the 2019 through 2028 10-year planning horizon. It'll be our initial meeting about that. We provided that material several weeks back, but we'll be meeting as a group in a work session at 2 o'clock on September 17th in this room.
Okay, any other miscellaneous reports? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda, and all items on the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body, and tonight we're considering items number 13 through 31. Is there a motion? Vice Mayor?
I move to approve the consent agenda, but I want to pull item 23 for a language change.
Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to move on? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. We'll now move into old business. This is a public hearing. Consideration of ordinance 2018-30 to be entitled an ordinance to rezone 49.10 acres from a state residential district to civic institutional district for the property located east of Hillsborough Road and south of the Harpeth River, 1215 Hillsborough Road, Christ Community Church PUD subdivision. Josh?
Thank you,
That's
Mayor.
not bad.
This is the existing Christ Community Church on Hillsborough Road. The existing church is expanding their uses on this site and adding an additional couple of buildings. The rezoning is to civic institutional, which is required by our zoning ordinance, along with the PUD development plan, which is the next item. Envision Franklin and staff and Planning Commission recommended the item favorably.
Mayor,
Alderman McClendon.
I'll move approval, but unless I got everything backwards, that's west of Hillsborough Road.
It's not closed.
Indeed, that is west of Hillsborough Road. East
Well,
would be
we'll
the,
need to wait to get your motion until the public hearing is closed.
Okay.
So, are there any comments from the public? If not, I declare the public hearing closed. We'll entertain a motion and recognize Alderman McClendon.
Move approval with the amendment that the caption be restated to reflect west of Hillsborough Road.
Second.
Appropriate motion, second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 6 is a public hearing. This is a public hearing, consideration resolution 2018-58 to be entitled a resolution approving a development plan for Christ Community Church for the property located east of Hillsborough Road and south of the Harpeth River.
thank
Josh?
you, Mayor. This is the development plan for the Christ Community Church on Hillsborough Road, west of Hillsborough Road. Envision Franklin recommends a conservation subdivision design concept for the western block of Hillsborough Road. A special exception was made for institutional uses in this location. The development plan complies with the special recommendations. Staff recommends the item favorably. Planning Commission recommended the item favorably.
Is there any comment from the public? If not, I declare the public hearing closed. We entertain a motion. Alderman McClendon.
I'll move approval with the amendment that the caption be restated to reflect that the property is west of Hillsborough Road.
Second.
Appropriate motion, second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 7, this is a public hearing. Consideration ordinance 2018-28 to be entitled an ordinance to rezone 2.17 acres from a state residential district to residential R3 district for the property located north of New Highway 96 and south of Del Rio Pike at 1044 Carlisle Lane.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Alderman. My name is Chris Andrews with the Planning Department. Item 7 is rezoning at 1044 Carlisle Lane into the R3 district. This request was made to match the surrounding properties, which are mostly zoned R3. No new lots are being created with this application. Envision Franklin designates this property within the single-family residential design concept, which supports the zoning of R3, where it's consistent with surrounding uses, as is the case here. Staff supports the request, and Planning Commission voted unanimously in support of recommendation by the board. If there's no questions, Mr. Mayor, we're ready to open the public hearing, and I do know that the applicants are here if they wish to speak.
Okay, the public hearing is available for citizens to make comments. Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. We entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of the amendment. For
Appropriate
rezoning.
motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 8, consideration resolution 2018-77, a resolution to adopt a 5-year rate plan and cost of service study for the Water and Sanitary Sewer Utility Fund, FY 2019 through FY 2023.
Motion to approve.
Appropriate motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion?
Do we need to decide on option A or
Decide
option
the
B?
op-
That'll be the next item.
Oh.
So, seeing no discussion, ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 9, consideration ordinance 2018-47, an ordinance amending the City of Franklin Municipal Code Appendix A, comprehensive fees and penalties, Chapter 18, Water and Sewers, for the purpose of updating water and sanitary sewer user rates. Establish a public hearing date of October the 9th, 2018. As Alderman Speedy mentioned, there are 2 options that you've been offered, option A and option B. I'll give you a minute to look at those unless somebody's ready to make a motion. Would y'all like an explanation of A and B?
Yeah,
Yes.
option A is the one that puts more.
I'm
on
asking,
every- Yes, yes.
The difference,
Good point.
basically.
Sure. So,
Obvious.
thank you. So we have offered, there's obviously a number of different options, but based on the discussion from the last board meeting, there was discussion regarding option A, which is an increase to the customer charge alone, and then option B, which splits the increase between the customer charge and the volumetric rates themselves. So I can go through the detail if you'd wish, but I think just as a point of clarification of which direction you might
And
want to go.
staff is recommending either option. Both meet the revenue targets set out in the cost of service study and in the 5-year plan that you just adopted. It's really the policy choice of the board of how you want to allocate that increase between customer charge and volumetric component.
Alderman Peterson.
As I understand it, option B is the one that keeps the minimum amount to the minimum use or lowest.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the lesser increase. It only
Yes.
places half of the overall revenue increase on the customer charge, the fixed rate, and then the other half comes from the volumetric structure.
Well, I would be in favor of that, just because we have,
Is this a
Kind of-
motion?
oh,
And I will
Yes.
second her motion
Okay.
if that's a motion.
I move that we adopt
And I second.
the option B.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Bransford. Now, open for discussion.
Do.
Now you may speak,
That's right,
Alderman
I-
Peterson. You made the motion,
That's
and
right,
you
I
have
made
the
the
right to
motion, so I
speak
have the first
first.
opportunity, thank you. As I say, historically, I think we have kept the minimum fee low because there are some people who have, are in situations where an extra $3 a month could make a big difference to them, and it wouldn't just be on this. I'd also be in favor of that whenever we get to the sewer, wastewater.
Both the sewer and water are
I think,
in this particular
Yeah,
motion.
this is
okay,
written
well-
together, so if that
Good.
motion includes both.
Yes.
That, this is written to accommodate that.
okay.
Alderman Berger.
Does the second include that as well?
Yeah, I was just, because,
Option B for?
option B for
for
both
both?
sewage and water, because the, like you said, the senior person who's not using a lot of volume will, that will be where this person will fit most
So
best in
your
this
second is
category.
including
Yes.
that? Yeah, I would be in favor of the, keeping it with the, and increased volume charge as well. So
Alderman
I would
Speedy.
support B.
It's kind of a toss-up, but I guess I was leaning towards option A because in neither option, we're not even meeting the cost of service, and we're not then dependent on a variable usage with option B, so I would go with option A to at least cover the cost of the service.
Okay, any
Mr.
other
Mayor,
discussion?
I would like to say, though, that a $3 increase, I'm just looking at the water right now, over the current rate is a pretty large percentage of that. I guess it would be, what, over 25%? Where if you do this with just half of that, and then the people who use more water then would be paying a larger percent. I mean, not larger than the 25% that the base person would be. But as I say, for some people, this might be a fairly large amount for, as we say, on a fixed income and that don't use very much water.
Any other comments or discussion? You ready to vote? We're voting for option B. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
It passes 6-1. We'll move on to item 10, which is Resolution 2018-76, to be entitled a resolution to adopt the Public Meeting Code of Conduct. Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger. Motion by Alderman Barnhill. Open for discussion. Did you want to have the first crack at it? Alderman Barnhill, you ready to?
First crack at it.
Okay. Anybody else want to make a comment? Alderman Peterson.
Well, I had asked very late in the day today to find out some other cities that have a public meeting code of conduct, because when I went online and Googled it, the only things I could find had to do with just the ethics and behavior of the board itself. I was unable to, in a short period of time, to find any city online that just had a code of conduct like this.
There are many. We can give you a list. When we drafted this, we pulled it from several California cities. I don't know if any folks can remember specific cities, a city in Georgia. There's things put out by the Minnesota Municipal League that several of their cities have used. Michael may have some more specific memory.
Two of the cities that we did research on and actually emulated from in our working group was the city of Manhattan Beach and the city of St. Louis Obispo. Those had sort of codified their codes of conduct.
I was unable to find them, and I'm just saying, whenever I went on and looked on several pages, I could not find that.
The other thing you'll see it on, if you search it, is civility code. Sometimes that's the term that folks have used, as opposed to code of conduct. We went with that terminology, but that's the other place we've seen is that people refer to as a civility code. So that might help identify some other cities.
Alderman Bransford.
Mr. Mayor, it may just be simple as the First Lady has said, be nice. It's to be nice cook. How we should
Any
be
other
nice to each
comments?
other.
You ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item 11, consideration contract number 2018-0193, cooperation agreement between the City of Franklin and the Franklin Housing Authority for the 48-unit Chickasaw Senior Complex, also called a pilot. Is there a motion?
I move for approval.
Second.
So, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 12, consideration of liquor license for Whole Bev LLC, doing business as Holiday Cigars and Spirits, 108 North Royal Lakes Boulevard, Franklin, Tennessee. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. We'll now go to item number 23. And I would ask for an explanation of the language from Mr. Stuckey, and then I think Alderman Martin has requested this to be pulled, and so she can make the motion after that.
Our apologies, Mayor and Board. We have an error in the title that is on the agenda. The actual ordinance itself does have the appropriate title, but it should read that you are adopting the ICC International Swimming Pool and Spa Code 2018 edition. So you strike Property Maintenance Code and put in Swimming Pool and Spa Code, and you'll have what matches the actual ordinance that's on your agenda. So we had just had an error in that title. So if we could amend that title appropriately, that would make this item ready to go.
All right, I move for approval of this ordinance, please, with the word change to, from Property Maintenance Code to Swimming and Spa Code.
Second.
Swimming pool and spa.
Swimming pool.
And who was second? Alderman Bransford, thank you. I'll reread the caption. Consideration ordinance 2018-23 to amend Title 12, Chapter 7 of the Franklin Municipal Code to adopt the ICC International Property Swimming Pool and Spa Code 2018 edition. Ready to vote?
Should not say
I think you use the
property.
word property.
Just International Swimming Pool and Spa Code.
I'm sorry. 2018 edition. I don't know where I got property. So, ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Alderman Berger. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, apparently the bartenders are ready to go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Move we adjourn.
Appropriate motion, non-debatable. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
We did
All in
learn
favor say
that.
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.